Hello, friends. It's your girl, Anna Loves, and welcome back to Creepy Corner Story Time. So, today we're going to be talking about the city of Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, and more specifically, the home of country superstar Loretta Lynn and her haunted mansion, also known as her haunted ranch. Now, this story was specially requested by my mother for her birthday, which is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Mom. So, to get to some of the background of the ranch itself, it was a Civil War battleground in 1863. And when Loretta first went to the house, there were already graves in the yard. And when they walked it, cold spots in parts of the hallways. Now, this didn't scare Loretta Lynn. She herself says by the time she was 6 years old, she was already seeing spirits of dead people, like if they were a person like you and me. So that was a gift, she said, that she inherited from her mother, and it was something she was comfortable with. She said when she first saw Hurricane Hills, she was drawn to it and knew that it was a place that she wanted to live. Surprisingly, the home came with the entire town it was located in too, which was also known as a battleground. The local church was used as a hospital to take care of some of the injured. Now, specifically, we're going to be talking about the Brown Room. It's one of the rooms in the mansion that two of her sons stayed in. So the very first son, the oldest one, he says one night he came home late and was tired and just fell into bed and fell asleep with his clothes on. When he woke up, it was because somebody was pulling at his feet. And when he looked down, there was a Civil War soldier pulling on his boot and trying to pull him off the bed. Well, that definitely snapped him out of his sleep. He ran down the hall, never went back in, and never stayed in that room again. A few years later, the younger son, Jack, he decides he's going to take a whack at staying in that room. Of course, history repeats itself. He was asleep one night when he said the room got extremely cold, woke him up out of his dead sleep. He sat up, looked at the edge of the bed, only to have two Civil War soldiers staring back at him. Eyes big, he was awake, same thing, down the hall, out of there. Moved out of that room, never went back. Now, to this day, this ranch is a museum where you can do tours around it. The Brown Room. Every day, someone has to go into that room and sweep the window seals because there's a collection of flies, dead flies, that build up on the window sills. Most people that have gone in there said that it's very uncomfortable. It does have a cold draft. Loretta Lynn herself said something had to have happened in that room, and she doesn't know what it is, and they never were able to confirm it. But every day, same thing to this day. The museum's still open, and you can still visit it. Now, one of the more absolutely creepy stories that I heard was there was a porch swing on the outside of the house, and underneath it was a door that opened up into what looked like a basement. It was set up more like a dungeon. There were chains hanging off the walls. This was something that they had not seen before, but they found it when they were refinishing the patio. They didn't mess with it. They closed it up, covered it, and left it alone. Probably the smartest thing they could have done. So Loretta says that her and one of her friends were in the living room, which is right in front of where that is, and by the front door, watching TV. And that they heard somebody walking onto the porch. They were expecting someone to come and knock at the door. Nobody came. They kind of didn't give it much thought. They were like, well, they just kept on watching their show and doing what they were supposed to be doing. And they heard it again, except for this time, it sounded like there were chains dragging behind them. Now, at this point, the friend is freaked out. She's like, wait. First, we're hearing footsteps on the porch. Now we're hearing chains dragging. Loretta Lynn told her, look, you don't need to worry about this. I know exactly what it is. What she thinks is that that basement was used as a dungeon in the 1800s to punish slaves, that they were chained up down there and their tortured souls were still on the plantation and dragging their chains around. Now, if you ask me, any of this is happening where I'm living, special connection or not, I'm out of there. Have any of you people ever visited Loretta Lynn's haunted mansion? If so, I would love to hear the story. These are really interesting stories. There's many more that I could go into about some of the things some of the tourists have seen. I would love to hear your stories in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me and have a great night.